All right, it is 1:20, so we will go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I and the rest of the team here at OCI want to personally thank all of you for carving time out of your schedule to join us today. Quick introduction and a couple housekeeping notes. I'm Dan Dahl, the Director of Broker Sales here at OCI, and today we have two very special guests joining us. Steve Zimmerman and John Lule, both from our partner carrier at North American. Steve is the VP of Sales at North American, and John is the Head of Sales Development. And we are extremely excited to have them on today, as they both share our same passion for life insurance and for getting more policies in the hands of the families and businesses that need them. And I think that passion will be evident once I hand it over to Steve. A couple housekeeping notes. This webinar is being recorded and it will be available for you to view once we're done. And secondly, we will not have a question and answer session at the end. If you do have any questions, please reach out to Nick or myself or even Steve and John, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. So without further ado, Steve, it is all yours.
Hey, Dan, thank you so much. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hey, Dan, am I coming through okay? Can you hear me?
You're all good.
All right, fantastic. Hey, well, I just can't echo enough the enthusiasm, and we're just so grateful to be here with you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to try to give you a fairly high-level summary in about 15 to 20 minutes of what's going on in 2018 in the life insurance part of the business, what people like you are potentially doing, and then maybe to give you some ideas to think about. And then after that, the next steps would be to sit down and have a conversation with Nick and Dan. So, Dan, thank you for such a nice introduction. John and I are your North American team. Consider us as an extension of the OCI team with Nick and Dan. So you can certainly come to us, but then, we will be part of the team with Nick and Dan at OCI. So let me just... All right. Hey, there's my contact information, folks. I would encourage you, if you want, you can get in touch, but Dan and Nick are your primary contacts, but John and I are available to help. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about life insurance in 2018. I'm going to give you a fairly high-level summary and kind of an update of consumer profiles. What are people doing these days? Why are people buying life insurance? I'm going to give you some positioning for what's new in 2018. How are the current market events relevant in business opportunities for you? And then I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what is this client review thing and how can it turn into something that's very beneficial to not just adding some additional sales to your practice, but how can we do something that'll be enriching to your core business as well? So let's take a look. Consumer profiles. Right now, if you think about life insurance, you've probably over the years thought of it, it's a risk management tool. If somebody dies too soon, we'll have some money available for the clients and their beneficiaries, more importantly. You know what? Today, the living benefits of life insurance are more important than they've ever been. You don't have to die to get something out of your policies. So that's where we're seeing a renewed interest in life insurance. Sorry, guys. Okay, so consumer profiles, 3 primary places. And what I wanted to just leave you is, today's going to be kind of the primer. Today's going to be kick the tires on this. If we say something today that you like, make some notes. But also I would encourage you, we will be offering follow-up sessions in longer amounts of greater detail. So today is to help you decide, do you want to do this? After this, we'll be providing the hands-on tools and techniques to turn this thing into action in your business. So 3 profiles we're primarily seeing right now. The first one is going to be that pre-retirement person. They're saving for retirement. It could be age 30 to 55. You know the type. They're saving money for retirement. They're working hard. They need death benefit. And right now, life insurance plays a more vital role than ever. In addition to the death benefit, we've got a savings place to grow the money. We've got a shelter from current taxes. And many of the insurance products today even have downside protection. So if you've got cash value growth, you don't lose money on the days the market goes down. The second demographic we're working with is that retired client, 60 plus. Very similar situation, but what's on their mind? Do I have enough money to retire? Is it safe? What if there's another market correction? What about long-term care? It's a big issue on many people's mind. And then, you know what? Legacy. Love my kids, but man, do I really love my grandkids. And life insurance is also today playing a more significant role than it ever has before. The third one is business owners. This is a place I think this audience is probably going to be interested in. I know it's also a particular area of expertise for Nick and Dan, but we can help you with the life insurance applications in the business market. We can also help you with the positioning and some of the conversation starters to either go deeper with the business clients you have today or ways to kind of get in the door and meet some new ones tomorrow. Okay. So what's new in 2018? Two things I want to share, and I just kind of mentioned it a minute ago, foreshadowing. It's the living side of life insurance. We have people for as many reasons today buying life insurance for the living benefits, the cash value side, the downside protection, the tax advantages. And the simple question is, if you could have a strategy where you could grow your money and participate in the days the market goes up, but never lose a dime of principal when the market goes down, would you be interested? That's in the wheelhouse of life insurance right now. We've got accelerated death benefits, mainly for long-term care types of situations. Now, we'll go deeper into this in other days' sessions, but developing liquidity before you die for chronic, critical, and terminal illnesses is also a very popular reason why people are taking a look at life insurance right now. So the death benefit's important, but the living benefits are really a big reason why people are renewing their enthusiasm for life insurance. Now, let's take a look at right now. How about the market, the economic outlook? All you have to do is turn on the news, pick up the paper, and you see the world's a volatile place right now. You see the markets are up and down. We have incredible volatility. Even though 2008 is a memory from about 10 years ago, many of us still have scars of that 08 correction, and we just don't want it to happen to us again. When we look at leading economic indicators, there is a high probability that in the next 2 years, by 2020, that interest rates are going to start to trend up enough to make an interest or enough to make an impact in the economy, and also leading economic indicators point to a high probability of a recession by 2020. Now, why do you care? What does this matter? How does this impact the way you can help your clients? Well, what it means is over the next couple of years, we're going to have a high probability of an additional run in the market, so you don't want to miss that. However, it's going to be paired with a period of exceptionally high volatility. So what that means is you want to have a strategy where you can grow the money, participate in the up days, but really kind of have a hedge or downside protection on the days the market goes down. So that's where, if this is piquing your interest, maybe you even want to take a look at this, for yourself. We can educate you there. But in the days ahead, if you like this is kind of the core story. So there's never been a better time to talk to your clients about life insurance, and the economic indicators really point to that too. Okay, client review. I'll give you the high-level overview today, but basically client review, and if you were to hear client review, and if some of you are in the P&C business, what does client review mean? It means, can I quote your renewal, and can I save you money? And that's what clients tend to think. But a policy review / client review is a much broader situation. So if you like this idea and you want to learn more about it, in follow-up sessions, we'll help you. Client review really takes into other things as far as needs analysis. How much coverage should you have? Most people have never taken the time to calculate it. Maybe they need more, maybe they need less. Did they buy insurance through their group and their group annual enrollment? It's very convenient, but it's not necessarily the best thing for you. We'll also help you with the conversations and questions to ask regarding wills and trusts. Hey, do you have a will? If you don't, not a problem, because the state you live in most likely has something called intestate succession, fancy legal term that says the state will have a will for you. So we're going to give you the tools and the questions to ask. How about beneficiaries? If you're sitting with someone and you say, hey, let me look at your documents. I was sitting one time at a kitchen table helping an advisor, and I pulled up a policy and I said, hey, who's John Doe? And I thought the one person was going to jump over the table and strangle me, and they said, why? And I said, well, that's the beneficiary on this big policy. And the person said, that's my ex. So we'll equip you with the tools to not only look specifically at insurance policies, but really learn a heck of a lot more about your clients. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of detail of what we're going to do. This is a high level summary of the policy review process. So the heart of what we're looking to do is, if you like this, if you want to expand your business, maybe you've dabbled in doing life insurance in the past and you do 1 or 2 a year, or you might sell a life policy when somebody comes and asks you for it. I'm thinking here, what we're all thinking is, if you haven't done this, phenomenal opportunity, we can help get it off the ground for you. If this is something you've done once in a while, we can help you make it simple and make it a mainstay of your day-to-day business. So policy review, that's the core. We're going to help you do this. So what's the target profile? You see here on the screen, these are common things that, we'll go through in a little bit more detail. But if you have a change in marital status, new home, job, children, adoption, these are things we'll ask. And it also goes hand in hand with those conversations that may play very well into your business. If you're in the P&C business, you probably want to get into some conversations about the homeowners, the auto. Hey, is that liability umbrella up to speed? You got a new kid that's driving. They just got their license. Hey, is that $1 million liability umbrella enough? You know what? Maybe it's not. And you see the last bullet there, current policy performance. I'm only going to give you a quick comment here today, but current policy performance is kind of a thing that people don't understand. People think I've got a life policy. I saw what the numbers were when I bought it. I put it in the drawer 10 years ago, and I expect it to be there. Well, there's a degree of variability with policies that have cash value, that there's a number of reasons that we'll get into next time of why policies aren't meeting clients' expectations. So there's huge opportunity to help clients with those policies. Everything we do, however, is not just trying to jam a new sale down their throat. The process really has about 3 different outcomes. Only one of them is a new sale. So it's a way that if we don't uncover a sale for you, we're going to reinforce and strengthen the relationship. So we'll get a good outcome out of all these. Okay, conducting a client review. We'll get into this detail next time, but we're going to talk to clients about their goals. That second bullet, in-force illustration, we'll do that next time, but we will walk you through the exact things you have to do to review these client policies. We'll help you what the steps are. We'll help you with the conversations. We can assist with doing conference calls or helping you with the presentations. We can coach you on those things. And then after that, we can help you with reviewing what they've got, designing new illustrations, and really, it's assessing if what they have is good or if it needs to have some changes. And you see some of the other things, beneficiary review, discover new sales opportunities. So it's a pretty robust process. Okay, considerations. Concerned about policy performance. Most clients that have policies don't know if they should have concerns about policy performance. That's where we get into this, and we'll explain it to you. So what we'll also do next time is we'll tell you examples, or we'll share examples of what you may find. So if you, at its core, were to say, hey, Mr. Client, do you have life insurance? What do you have? When did you buy it? Hey, has anybody ever looked at it or reviewed it for you? Well, no. You know what? We should look at that. Send me a copy of the statement. And what we'll walk you through is, based on the decades the policy were sold or purchased, we have a pretty good idea to know what's going on. So if you have policies that were issued back in the 80s, we know there were policies that were issued when interest rates were really high, and there's a high probability that they may not be performing as well as you might hope. So there's either at a minimum a need to look at them and adjust them, make sure they're funded properly, or there could be a great opportunity to replace them for something better. Policies in the 90s. They were issued when the VUL days were going gangbusters. The market was going crazy. Well, you know what? The performance in the market since then has been up and down, but it hasn't really materialized. So we're seeing similar situations in the 90s. In the 2000s, that was kind of the dawn of the sale of the guaranteed life insurance, the guaranteed UL, or you'll hear GUL, or you hear those terms thrown around. People tend to think that those are just bulletproof, they're done, they're guaranteed. But if you were slow on paying premium payments or other things, you could have some performance issues. So policy performance is something we'll help you every step of the way. Just know what's out there. We'll help you. Adding guarantees. Older policies didn't have them. Newer ones do. So we can put, rock solid guarantees in the policies. I mentioned living benefits before. Most of the older policies that your clients will have do not have that accelerated death benefit, do not have that liquidity while you're alive for long-term care types of situations, do not have the downside protection for market corrections. So we'll go into that with you. Conversions we'll save for another day, but basically conversions are a contractual right to exchange your policy for a new one with no underwriting. We'll save that for another day, but if you have a client that has an old policy and they're not healthy, they couldn't go through underwriting, that conversion is gold and your clients are going to need you. So what you do in other cases with some of your other core products, if scenarios we find, we may be able to reduce the premium for what they pay. We may be able to get them more coverage for the same premium dollars. And there's a real specific process we will take you through. All right, kind of wrapping things up here, for you to think about this, kind of in closure. Client review process, we talked about it. It's talking to clients, it's getting the information. We will assist you with the materials to get. We will assist you with what to get. We'll help you with the review. We'll help you with the presentation to make back to your client. And we'll also, frankly, we'll assist you whether A, the client's policy is great, and just tell them it's okay. Because even though if we tell a client their policy is great, we didn't make a sale for you, but you know what? We got a really happy client that's going to be loyal to you after that. We might tell a client that, you know what, you've got a good policy, but you didn't quite pay your premiums on time and it's underperforming, so we got to have you increase your premiums a little bit to catch up. Or we might say, hey, this is an old policy, it's not doing too well, you're still in good health. We should consider changing it to something new. And that's where Nick and Dan and John and I can help. All right. Enhancements to the underwriting process. We can't wait to tell you about this next time because in brief, if you've sold life insurance before, think about the process. 30, 35 pages in application. You got to ask a bunch of questions. It could take a few weeks. Now you might be thinking, yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe that's why I don't do more of this stuff. Well, let me share with you. There is incredible enhancements to the submission and the underwriting of life insurance process. There are new digital tools that let you, A, skip the paper, and B, shorten the underwriting process. So right now, in addition to doing the traditional paper application, you can do an electronic e-app where, for example, if you have an iPad, you can go on the iPad, you can answer all the questions in the application and put it in. What that does for you is you don't have to get the paper and it won't let you miss a space before you send it in. We also have a process where you can use what quote unquote big data, and we'll give you what the heck that means. I like saying it, but people are like, what the heck does that mean? We have a process with the e-app where we use big data, and based on clients' information like their credit score, their financial history, things like that, we're able to, about half the time with certain cases, certain policies, skip the exam in fluids. And then the last thing, we've got what we refer to as a ticket drop. And if you think about it, you put in abbreviated information, and then we take it from there. We call the client, we ask the questions. So I just want you to know, we don't care how you do it. You like paper, we'll help you. If you want a simpler process, we've got a new cool way to make your life easier. And then the last thing I would say, guys, is, developing a customized plan. There will be a common theme to the things we do, but every one of you is different. Every one of you has different things that you're trying to accomplish, your goals and objectives. So we're going to start not with a cookie cutter approach, but we're going to start and want to learn about your business, what you do, where you want to grow, the kind of clients you have, the kind of clients you want to get more of. And we will customize the execution based on what you need. And then the last thing I just want to show you, tools to help you sell. We have kits. We have tons of materials. The thing that's great about it is it's more concept material, sales concept. It's not product. We got product stuff coming out of our ears. I don't think that's why you're here today, not product training. But we can help you with the concepts, how to present them, how to talk about them. We have stuff that's approved for you and things you can share with your clients. We'll show you next time. We have a website that's dedicated to you folks, the producers. And if you see there, I'm highlighting with my cursor, there's a part that says sales concepts right there. We have a series of materials that will give you things on client review and other things. So that's also, we'll get you that in the amount of detail that you want. Social media, just a quick little plug here. If any of you are engaged in social media, but you're kind of thinking, can I take this to a higher level? We have very specific tools that we'll bring to you. It doesn't really have anything to do with insurance, but we just thought it would be helpful to bring you social media tools to help you as just an additional little thing we could do for you. And I guess I would just kind of in closing say, hopefully this has given you a little bit of a high level understanding of the kinds of things that Dan and Nick and OCI can bring to you. But I would say that the thing to leave you with is, if you're selling life insurance with your clients, if you think you can do more, we can make it easy for you. We'll customize the plan. We'll help you every step of the way. If you've thought about, should I be doing more life insurance? Then from an offensive perspective, it's a great way to expand your business and grow your revenue. From a defensive perspective, it's a great way to put a brick wall around those clients and make sure that they're not talking to anybody else. So it's a great way to do it. The time has never been right than 2018. And I don't think in my 30 years in the business, I've never seen guys that really knew what they were doing more than Nick and Dan. So I would just encourage you, if you like what you've heard so far, get in touch with the guys. We're going to follow up with you. If you want something sooner, give us a call and be on the lookout for a more detailed follow-up day 2 session. So thanks, Dan.
Yep, thanks, Steve, and thank you for everyone that joined us today. We appreciate your partnership, and we look forward to helping you guys grow.